Is there anything more peaceful than taking in the quiet beauty of the setting sun? As it descends below the horizon, creating romantic shades of red and orange across the sky, the world has a chance to breathe in and rejuvenate.
Rejuvenate! What a word! I think if you were to put a price tag on the words, rejuvenate would be up there with the ones such as health, well-being and immortality. And aren't those what we always search for?
That's what our client was searching for when he came to us with the idea of building his dream home. This is the story of the AR home. Istanbul often comes across as a huge and loud metropolis. Well, it's absolutely true. You would not expect any less noise from 17 million of its residents. But you can always step away from the crowds and cocoon yourself in nature.
Our client first came to us with a couple locations in mind, and with a few phone conversations back and forth, we narrowed it down to two places only. One was Sapanca, beautiful place outside of Istanbul by a lake, lush green, and a perfect retirement place indeed. But what put him off was really the commute time, the fact that it was 2 to 3 hours away from Istanbul, and that was what affected his decision-making process in choosing Büyükçekmece.
So he goes, you know what, I like the Büyükçekmece idea. So that's why I said, okay, we should be focusing here because, you're not going to live here throughout.
When you take a glance at its rolling hills and beautifully groomed fields, for a moment you'll feel like you're in the countryside in the middle of Anatolia, so far away. Yet you're so close that with one look to the east, you'll see the towers of the city of Istanbul. There isn't a second location in the city where you can have a Mediterranean resort lifestyle. It'll take you 1 hour to get to Büyükçekmece from the center of Istanbul, for many a daily commute. And for those who fly frequently, the airport is a short drive away. And as a businessman from overseas, our client was very happy with Büyükçekmece's proposition.
So after deciding the location, we started talking about pretty much land options. And his concern was to having a land which would ideally, suit his purposes. So his concern was, would he be able to achieve that with budget perspective and everything?
Kajin identified 5 land plots in Büyükçekmece area, and we went to that place to film the lands, and we created a video file to send it to the client. And the client was really interested in one particular land, almost a square shaped, 3,500 square meters of a beautiful land with a gorgeous panoramic sea view, located a little bit on a hilltop, and with that we got our first thumbs up.
But the problem was that he couldn't travel. How could he possibly understand without physically being here?
You have to do everything online, right?
5:30 right now, as of we speak. Let's move on.
We created a virtual live touring system.
We are in a 2 kilometers range of the land. So we are entering to the neighborhood.
So what we do basically is that we sit the client on his chair at his home, and we basically shrink his body into a stick, and on top of it we mount a 360 camera so that he can look around and he can see, and then we basically take him with us into a journey to stimulate that he is physically there. Does that make sense?
Alright. So, if you would remember, with Aladdin, we made a drone shooting so that you could understand how widespread angle of view you had, and plus your neighborhoods. They watched it. The whole family watched it, in fact. The daughters, the sons, everybody watched that tour where we made. I know we did, Property Turkey side did this before with the properties who could, to the investors or to the buyers who couldn't travel. They would do this online. But I came up to you and said, do you remember the day? I know, I gave you a call around, I think, something like 11 in midnight. Allah, like, we need to do this, buddy. How can we achieve this? Where's the land? Büyükçekmece. Okay, all right. I'll bring the drones. I was like, no, buddy, we're gonna do like a live tour, and you went very calm and naturally, as if that we were doing this every day. No, buddy, we'll do an online tour with the drones. Do you remember that the GoPro fell over?
Oh my god!
In the traffic.
And at the end of the live tour, the client said, yes, we buy the land. And me and Kajin were like, boom, climax, right? We say, yes.
A relief it was, but little did we know that our bigger challenge of designing the actual property was underway.
He sent us a couple of exterior photos and interior photos of here and there, randomly. And I think it was a house in States, a single-story house. So he said, can you do this? I was like, yeah, we can do this. I mean, we need a quite large sum of land, but yeah, we can do this. I gave this to one of our architects. So the time came and the renders were ready. And after work, end of the day, we're supposedly to have a conference call and to show the design. To say, this is the end product.
This is the final meeting where Kajin is supposed to present a design that him and architects were working on based on the requests of the clients. Fingers crossed.
And the design was completely different. The exterior was completely different. The landscaping was totally something else. And I started to have this anxiety, panic attack-ish combination of something. Started looking for a, psychiatrist. But, and I asked the architect, what kind of a state of mind were you in when you actually were designing this? And he goes to me, says, I thought that this kind of materials would really look good to the house, which I understand. A very expensive material.
The reason why the design came out different from the first pictures that the client sent was mainly because of the land size and the municipality regulations. But upon seeing our design, he ended up loving it.
So, what do you think?
I love it. Let's do it.
Thank you very much. Then we'll get on to it. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay.
Wonderful.
See you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
I certainly had doubts. We had multiple obstacles. There were multiple, problems. The regulation-wise, clients' request-wise, but we pulled it off. I think I can say, mission is accomplished.
The accomplished mission was only getting the design approval from the client. And now, it's time for us to make this dream come to life.